This is fun. The fastest pastor is joining us today on Spirit 105.3. Don Wickstrum, welcome to the show. Hi, how you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. I appreciate you reaching out to us. It means a lot to us.
This is awesome. I mean, you don't see this resume every day. Pastor, cancer survivor, race car driver. Boy, God has a unique plan for every life, but yours is pretty awesome.
He does, and yeah, I think I'm definitely. I feel like a passenger most days. I just don't know, but it's been good. He's been good and faithful as he always is, and I feel very blessed and humbled to be doing what we're doing.
That's so awesome. First of all, how did you become a pastor? Were you like one of those kids where you felt like you were called, or did you become a pastor as a grown-up?
Oh no, I was an atheist. I actually tried proving all religions wrong in college, and I ended up in college in a weird way too. But after proving 4 of the major 5, just didn't no credibility to them, I got to Christianity, thought that'd be easy, and a year and a half later, I was giving my life to Christ.
Unbelievable.
And, a little while after that, I became a youth pastor, and the rest is history. So yeah, I've just been serving him and owned a robotics business until I got cancer 6 years ago. Was given a year to live, so I sold that, and that's how we ended up at Pikes Peak and racing, and yeah.
Wait, so 6 years ago, the doctor said, okay, Don, you've got a year to live. How did that change your life?
Oh, it changed a lot of things because it was right. My robotics company, we were doing really well. We finally got to a place where we were growing, we were healthy, just really killing it, just a lot of good technology. And then all of a sudden to be met with a diagnosis from my doctor that what he told me is if you want to be here in a year, you better sell that business. That's the only chance you're going to have is taking this head on. So that's what we did. We sold the business and went after cancer. And finally, last year, 2023, I got my first negative cancer test. I think it was in August.
Wow.
And so praise God for that. But yeah, so sold the business. And during that whole process, a friend of mine had asked me about something on my bucket list. And Pikes Peak had always been on that, but I hadn't really thought about it. I just blurted it out. And he's like, how about we pray about that? And so we prayed about it and he helped make it happen. And yeah, then wrecked and came back the second year because I was still alive. Didn't think I would be, and wrecked again. And then finally went back the third time, and we successfully finished. And now we finished. This year was my 4th time finishing successfully. But yeah, it's been incredible. And during that while, I Am Second made a film, a documentary about my journey called Chasing Hope. It's on their website.
I mean,
so yeah, just nothing like what I thought I'd be doing.
Don, you're like the Tim McGraw song, Live Like You Were Dying, Come to Life. When you find out you're dying, is Tim on it? Like, do you start to really live?
Yeah, I think, what happened for me, Erica, is it gave me, when I left my doctor's, he's an Amish doctor, so you don't have like cell phone reception for about an hour. So I'm left just me and God, right? And driving a car. And I remember I wasn't sad about the diagnosis or anything. What it did is it gave me I was urgent. Like I felt like this sense of urgency, like I need to share the hope of Jesus with people. Like the hope that's carrying me right now, like I need to share that with people. And I think it gave me an urgency to share the message of hope through Jesus Christ with as many people as we could and commission Christians to get off their butt and share their story. And so, because, I think we're all guilty of it sometime in our life where we become sideline bench warmers. And
yeah.
So I think just that, in itself kind of repelled things. And, I finally got a hold of my wife and we were talking and I told her, I said, I'm going to fight. I really want to fight. And she's like, no, I know we'll do whatever it takes. And I said, no, I want to, if all I have is a year to live, I said, my last breath, I want to proverbially punch Satan in the face one more time. And I want him to be happy I'm leaving Earth.
Wow.
That's what I want. And so, and I don't want to leave early. Don't get me wrong. But I'm like, if that's the case. And so I tell everybody we planned pessimistically, but we lived optimistically, and we just went where God told us to go. And we have seen him do incredible things. We've seen between, just partnering with I Am Second and going through all that. It's just been crazy.
Wow. I think urgency is a great quality to have when you're a race car driver, I'm guessing. How did you become a race car driver? Like, how do you do that? I like to drive fast, but.
Well, Erica, that's a good question. I get asked that a lot, and I think really what it was is, I came from a poor family, so the first thing I ever raced was shifter carts. And I got a job as an engineer, and that was my first paycheck I ever got was I spent it on shifter carts.
Wow.
And I raced, and then I got saved in the middle of that. So I'd won a national championship in that series, and then I felt like God told me to walk away from racing. So I walked away from racing for years, and then it came back on the plate, we thought, as being a chaplain. And then me and my wife, through praying and fasting, we felt like, no, we're supposed to race with these people and reach them with Jesus. So we did that in circle track and went from sportsmen's all the way up to late models. I did some dirt track and some sprints and things like that. And then I got sick before I got cancer. I was actually sick before cancer. I was in a wheelchair about 60-80% of the day, and had an unknown thing. And God worked through my Amish doctor and got us fixed on that. And then racing came up again because of cancer.
Wow.
And that's it. So I think, I don't know, the advice I tell everybody is find something you can afford and just go win, or just go have fun, and live your dream. It's a different landscape in racing. So, for us everyday people, it's a little harder to make a career out of it. But that's kind of how my racing career went. And then being at Pikes Peak, you're really training, you're doing a lot of things to do the best you can on the mountain because you don't get a lot of time there. And this year it worked out really well.
I'm so happy for you. In the moments when you thought, I can't finish this, I mean, I'm assuming you had those moments. How did you push through?
Honestly, I think one is gratitude. I tell everybody, like there were times where I had depression, where I battled that and some anxiety, and honestly, it's gratitude. I think that's what carried me. And I'd say the first 2 years of having cancer were my darkest. And I think what kept me positive was just a gratitude journal. Every day I wrote in it 5 things I was grateful for. And I think when we focus not on the problems, but we focus on the problem solver, that makes a big difference. And so when I could give gratitude to God and Jesus for my family and the health that, even though it wasn't great, that I could still stand up today. I have air in my lungs. Just because I'm sick doesn't void my calling and my purpose that He's put on my life. Being thankful for my friends and my family and the people that have been around me. And that's really it. And remembering that hope, doesn't come just because it pops out of nowhere. I mean, Jesus is the only hope that showed up. But the hope that we get, it says suffering produces perseverance, perseverance, character, and character, hope. And hope does not disappoint us, in Romans.
Hope is a big part of your mission, and it's very real. Mm-hmm. For somebody who has yet to believe in Jesus or is in that pit right now, and they're like, how am I going to climb out? How would you describe how the God of hope showed up in your life? Was there a moment like where you sensed His presence in a real way?
Yeah, it was at the darkest moment. So I had been fighting cancer for, I think it was about a year, and my doctor warned me that at some point along this journey that you'd have a really low day. And he just warned me, like, when that comes, you start praying. And I was just in a way where I was done with life. Like, I wanted to be done with it. I wanted to be done with life, and I wanted to expedite that. Mm-hmm. And I just started crying out to Him. And what came to mind is I felt like God told me, He says, listen, I'm not wasting any of this, Don. He says, I'm not wasting your tears. I'm not wasting your heartbreak. I'm not wasting your loss and your pain. He says, I'm not going to waste any of it. He says, because I love you. He says, while I may not desire you to go through this, He says, I'm going to carry you through it. And I will use every tear and every sleepless night for the good. Woo! And it just reminded me of Romans 8:28. And I said, all right, God. And so, we hung on, and I clung on to Him. I heard someone say recently, like, it just took the woman who had the bleeding just to grab the hem of his garment. And that's where I was, just grabbing onto Him, because the world had nothing for me, right? Everything we can look at, the world had nothing, but Jesus will give us the strength to endure. He can't always take us out of the situation in a miracle, but the miracle is that He's with us every step of the way. He doesn't leave us nor forsake us, and that carries you,
I'm over here nodding. Yes, I know. So Chasing Hope is a documentary, and it's a tour coming to Bothell and Mountain View. What can we expect, Don?
Well, I'll tell you what. Number one is the one in Bothell here. We're coming out the tour. We're on the 20th. We're going to be out at Hot Rods at the Ridge. That's off Maltby Road there, right at Park Ridge. And we're going to be just sharing our love for cars with people, but also giving the message of hope and just sharing people my story and motivating people. Like, listen, that hope is worth living for and clinging to. And then on Sunday, at the morning service, I'll be speaking as well. But we're just excited to reach out to the community. to get with other car people, to eat some food, and just share some hope. And we've found that to be really effective.
Oh, absolutely. And one more question before I let you go. You're the fastest pastor. Do you have documentation on that, sir?
Actually, there is now online. So, we piloted the I Am Second LMP3 at Pikes Peak this year with a time of 9:40, which officially made me the fastest pastor on the mountain. So, and Lane Schrantz, who was a pastor that was faster than me and raced up there, he was the first one to congratulate me and thank me because I beat him by I think it was like an eighth of a second or something. It was something really small. Oh. But I am now officially the fastest pastor. But, it's been fun. So there's my documentation. But, again, I would encourage anybody listening, go to iamsecond.com. Check out the Chasing Hope film. Check out the films they have. You can see me on social media, Fastest Pastor or Chasing Hope Tour. We'd love to talk with you. But, I really appreciate you guys having us on.
Absolutely. Don Wickstrum, the fastest pastor and a very good follow on Instagram. Thank you for hanging out with us on Spirit 105.3, and God bless you.
Thank you, Erica. God bless you.